My friend hit his daughter and broke her rib. I am absolutely furious right now. My friend has a daughter who is also in my 7th grade history class. She is the nicest kid in the world and one of the best students in any of my classes. However, this morning she came into my class late and was not herself. Normally she is raising her hand and engaging with the class, but she had her hoodie up and her head down. She was holding her arm to the side and looked to be in pain. Halfway through class, one walked by her desk to check on her and she looked up at me and had tears in her eyes. I brought her outside my classroom and asked her what was wrong, but she was not responding, but she started crying even more. After a couple more minutes of reassurance, she finally opened up. She woke up late for school and accidentally dropped a glass of water when she was getting ready. My friend, who is her father, punched her twice in the ribs and yelled at her for being clumsy. I asked her if she was hurt and she pulled her hoodie up and her ribs were beginning to bruise. My friend is 6'4" and over 200 pounds. My student is 12 years old and cannot be more than 85 pounds. I asked my colleague in the next class to watch over my class, and I took her to the health office where her mother picked her up. When she saw her daughter sitting in pain, she nearly burned the office down. She started cursing my friend's name and said this was the last straw for her. She asked me not to file a report, but I told her I was required to, as I was shown evidence of abuse and her daughter used the word abuse, which she begrudgingly understood. I am so mad right now. My friend has always had a short temper, but hitting your child because she dropped a glass is beyond disgusting. My student's mother texted me at noon and said her daughter broke a rib and is going to be out of class until Wednesday. I feel awful for my student. She is such a bright kid and is well liked by her peers, and now she is having trouble breathing because her father cannot act like an adult. I am ending my friendship with this man. He has been getting on my nerves for a while, but I will be damned if I am friends with someone who hits their child. From what she was saying, it seems like she witnessed abuse but did not partake in it herself. That could make her an enabler, of course, but her daughter is 100x more safe with her. I'm also planning on checking in on my student regularly once she comes back, just so she knows there is an adult around that she hopefully feels comfortable coming to if she needs help. Hi everyone, a lot of people wanted an update on my previous post here, so here they are. The guidelines of my school district mandate that a police officer come whenever a child reports an instance of abuse. I am not going to go into detail for reasons of student confidentiality, but there is a warrant going out for the arrest of her father. My student is home with her mother and grandparents and is recovering. One of her ribs is broken and she is in a lot of pain, but she is breathing a lot better. Her mother and father are married but have been living apart for a couple of months. She has been floating the idea of divorcing him, and she sent me a text message this morning saying she is going to file for divorce. Her mother is a really good person, and she also reported moments of abuse between her husband. She has been able to find living arrangements and is able to support herself and her daughter. I have known her for 16 years. She would never lay a hand on her daughter. She is a good parent. My student's father blew up my phone last night saying I am destroying his family and to stay out of his business. I did not respond and blocked him. My student's mother walked into my classroom after school today to pick up any assignments for her daughter. She thanked me for reaching out to her daughter and said I saved her daughter and herself from a lifetime of abuse. She handed me a note and said her daughter wrote it. I read it when she left and started to cry. My student thanked me for recognizing that she was in pain. She felt comfortable talking to me since she has known me her entire life and knew I would act if she told me she was in danger. She called me her favorite teacher and said she will be prepared for class when she returns. I pray she fully recovers and is not deeply traumatized by this event. She is a good kid and needs to be loved and cared for by people who appreciate her. Edit. Her father was arrested this morning. He is no longer a threat right now. He did admit to driving by my apartment complex last night. I might have dodged a major bullet by leaving town for the weekend. I can relax a little bit, so can my student and her mother. Thank you for everyone who supported me through this situation. If you are being abused, please tell a teacher or counselor if you are in school. I understand that it is difficult to talk about such a topic, but we are here to help you. I know there are situations where some teachers do not assist the student, but please give yourself the chance to be helped. It can mean the difference between a lifetime of danger or the ability to escape your situation. Commenter asked, why did the mother initially ask you not to file a report? If she took her daughter to the hospital and they suspected child abuse, then they would have had to report it too. Oop. She was afraid of her husband retaliating against her or her daughter. It's an unfortunate situation to be in. People who are in abusive relationships will put up with it, but many will drop everything if they see their child receiving abuse. It's a terrible cycle to go through. Oop in his own comment. I am definitely looking out for my safety, lol. My school is on a 3-day weekend, so my girlfriend and I are going to her parents' house a couple of hours away with our daughter. I do not need him harassing me or my girlfriend or my daughter. He has nothing to lose right now, which makes him even more dangerous. Another commenter asked, bring any of your and your family's important documents. He might be trashing your house or worse, attempting to burn it to the ground. Just a precaution, oop. All the important documents we have are in a specific box and we did bring it with us. We are not taking any chances. I might delete both of my posts and this account as well just as a precaution. My student came back to class yesterday and gave me a thank you note. My student came back to class today. She was out all week with a broken rib after her father hit her. She was supposed to come back on Wednesday, but she wasn't ready, so they waited until yesterday. She walked into class with the biggest smile in the world. Her arm was in a sling, but she was not taking any deep breaths like she was last weekend. She sat down and participated in the class like nothing happened. She's so cool. After school, she walked into my classroom and handed me a note and an envelope. In the envelope was a gift certificate to a nice Italian restaurant from her mother. She told me to take my girlfriend and daughter out to dinner this weekend. The note was her thanking me for recognizing she was in pain and acting on it. She knew she could trust me, and my actions went a long way for her, knowing she can go to someone she trusts if she is in distress. She wrote me a similar letter last week, but it was her reiterating what she said. She gave me a hug and left, and I closed the door and cried a little bit. She is very strong for a 12-year-old. I can tell this event is not going to affect her greatly. Her mother is working harder to be open with her, and she has a good family support system. Her father is in jail and will be for a long time. She's a special kid. She is by far my favorite student.